What I enjoy most about tax is really the ongoing challenge. It's always changing, so it's not ever the point that you know everything. It's always a challenge to keep up to date and coming up with new ideas as the law changes. Oh, I think the CTA designation was important to me because it represents a level of, I suppose, seniority within the profession, and it's something that I think you can be proud of. You can stick it at the back of your name and people understand what it means, and that it certainly gives that sort of credibility and, as I said, that level of seniority in the profession. Being a member of the Tax Institute has been important in my career, I suppose right from the very outset. So as soon as I started to get involved in tax, I joined the Tax Institute, and I've been a member for over 25 years now. So I've really relied on the Tax Institute to provide that ongoing professional development, opportunities to attend conferences like the National Convention, to present at conferences as well, so establishing a profile in the profession, getting to meet others in the profession, people that you might have seen their names around but you'd never met them before. So it's a great forum for getting together with those sorts of people that you've come across in your career. And also, as I said, establishing that profile, but your own ongoing learning. So being able to attend, hear acknowledged experts in the field talk about their area of expertise and learn from that on an ongoing basis. Even 25 years on, I'm finding it's still the case. Tax technical education, it almost goes without saying in the tax space in particular that it's absolutely integral to your ongoing development. And it seems to me that it's really the only thing you've got to offer clients is that technical expertise. And I don't say this in a derogatory fashion, but I think more so in tax than in other areas of the law. Although I sort of see myself first and foremost as a lawyer, that tax specialisation really brings with it that requirement to be absolutely at the top of the field in understanding how the law works, keeping up to date with developments. So tax technical expertise is the most important thing, I think, and that's where the Tax Institute has been integral over the years in providing that opportunity to continue that tax technical development. Yeah, I think tax practitioners are always coping with change. So I suppose it doesn't really matter that it's perhaps in the new economy that change is arising, because we're always coping with change in some way or another. But certainly it does provide a challenge. Even internally with my firm, we have developed an area of the firm. It's a new division within the firm that's looking at these new approaches to delivering legal services, and we've been asked about how we can step up and innovate in the tax space. Fortunately for me, I can't think of anything yet, so I've still got a job. But I think for me, it's the increased specialisation, the really honing in on what it is that you can do for clients that really they can't get anywhere else. So I think for me, if I think about how do I protect my career in this ever-changing environment, it's by being a specialist. And that, I think, is going to be hard to replicate with artificial intelligence or technology. It's something that I don't think we're quite there yet. Certainly at the lower end of compliance, yeah, definitely. There's efficiencies to be gained through technology, but I'm sort of at a different point in the advisory space, I suppose, and I still see that that's going to be difficult for technology to replicate that in the near future. I think the future in tax is tricky. Again, you mentioned technology developments, but in the globalisation, ever increasing globalisation of the economy, this idea of sharing the tax pot between countries is becoming a real challenge, and there's certainly been a lot of developments in that space over the last few years, and I think it's going to continue to develop. And the GST space is no different, which is what I'm speaking on today. But we have taken certain steps in that regard, but I think there's more to do. We're going to find disruption left, right and centre. We've already had a case about Uber. We've got other issues around Airbnb and crowdfunding, and so I think there's always going to be challenges. But I think at the basic level, we just got to remember that there are certain transactions going on, and the fundamental basis for those transactions in the current world in the local law is what we need to analyse first and foremost. Don't get too carried away with how those transactions are being conducted, but look at really what's going on. And then we can apply some tax laws around that. But there is this increasing challenge to make sure that we're keeping on top of those developments, that the law is catering to those, and that we're getting that right split of the revenue between countries. Yeah, look, I think the so-called soft skills, I don't think they're really soft. I think they're actually quite hard, and they're not something that you're really taught at university. So university degrees usually focus on the technical content, and those skills about how to deal with clients are something that you acquire over time through experience. You can obviously attend training sessions on various elements of that, and that's important as well as you go. But I think you've got to understand that we're really a go-between. So we're really an intermediary between the tax legislation and our clients, and so it's absolutely critical that we can learn how to digest and regurgitate the tax technical content in a way that our clients can understand. So I think that's a really important skill. It might be great that you understand the law, that you know it really well, but being able to interpret it and dissect it down and deliver it to the clients in a way that they can understand, they can use, that's a really important skill. So I think that's something that I would encourage new practitioners to really focus on. Is it's all right to have an answer, but is it the best answer for the client? Is it able to be delivered in a better way so that the client can understand it better? And just looking at it from the recipient's perspective, the client's perspective, what they really want is guidance on how to do something or an answer to a question. So give them that first. Worry about the tax technical gumph and the content and the section references and the cases later, and perhaps just focus on that, how you deliver what the client really wants. Look, I think that the Tax Institute events are always a great forum for catching up with people you might only see a couple of times a year. And again, with digitisation and the digital economy and communication technology, we often just don't meet anymore. We're doing a lot of stuff by email, by phone, teleconference, video conference. So getting together in person, I think, is really important. And so that the events like the National Convention or State Taxes conferences or GST conferences are a really good opportunity to get together and meet face to face. Obviously to talk about technical issues, but also just to kick back, relax, talk about what's happening in the business world generally, what's happening in their careers, what challenges they're facing. So I think it's a really good opportunity for that face-to-face meeting.